Host the colors. Chaplain Ross will now deliver the invocation.
Let us pray. Eternal God, we ask for your divine blessing this morning upon all who have assembled to participate and witness this transfer of authority and responsibilities. Inspire us now with your presence, that we may appreciate the weighty burden of command and the consequences that flow from it. May the spirit of vision, leadership, and devotion to duty be Commander Marlon Craig Anthony's noble legacy while serving as commanding officer in USS Harper's Ferry. I pray that
it is my distinct privilege this morning to introduce our guest speaker. A native of New Orleans, Louisiana, is a 1978 graduate of the United States Naval Academy and a graduate of the National Defense University. He has served as executive officer in USS Gettysburg and has served as commanding officer of the guided missile frigate USS Underwood and the cruiser USS Lake Champlain. As commander, Amphibious Forces 7th Fleet, his forces have been among the most operationally employed in our Navy. He is the lead agent for amphibious warfare in 7th Fleet AOR, lending his expertise to numerous deployed ESGs while employing his amphibious assets in humanitarian assistance, disaster relief missions, as well as the ongoing global war on terror. He personally served as Deputy Commander of U.S. Naval Forces in support of the Southeast Asia Tsunami Relief Operations in 2005. He has overseen the successful transition of his command from Amphibious Group 1 to Expeditionary Strike Group 7 and is a leading visionary regarding the future structure and use of our amphibious forces as well as surface.
Well, good morning. So, can we have everyone stand, please?
Chief Watch, I should place your greetings.
Well, Ohio Bazanis, I think it's appropriate to start this. Good morning. I'd like to first recognize my friend, and this week, my relief, Rear Admiral Carol Pottinger, who's seated in the front here, and we're going through the turnover process, and as of Monday, about 10:30 or so, she's going to be the new commander in Amphibious Forces 7th Fleet. And thank you for taking the time to join us today in this change of command, and look forward to the rest of the week and our ceremony on Monday. Also like to thank all of our guests for attending today. Glad to have you here. This is a big moment for these two officers, and we certainly, your presence add a lot. I'd also like to invite you all to join me before I begin my prepared remarks to thank the 7th Fleet Band for their participation today. These impressive sailors are terrific examples of the very best of our Navy, and their performance adds much to the rich tradition of our change of command ceremony. Please join me for a round of applause. Distinguished guests, family and friends, and especially the crew of the United States ships Harper's Ferry, again, we're honored by your presence today. come together to witness the time-honored tradition of the change of command. To watch as one officer express with justifiable pride his excitement for reaching the key career milestone of taking command of a warship and our amazing crew. And another officer, somewhat reluctant by words and mannerisms, to accept the fact that his time has come, and that what may have been the most rewarding tour of his awesome career is nearly complete. Look at their faces. It shouldn't be too hard or too difficult to figure out who's playing what role today. I'm honored to be here today and humbled to play a small role in what will occur in a few minutes. Now, the change of command ceremony we witness today is without an equivalent counterpart in the United States Army or United States Air Force. There is no specific mention in this event in U.S. Navy regulations. This ceremony is part of who we are, a product of our 231-year heritage of naval tradition. That tradition calls for a ceremony formal and impressive, like you see before you today. An event designed to strengthen our respect for authority, the very foundation of any proud and effective military organization. Through tradition, we call all hands, that's the entire crew, to quarters, just as they stand in formation around me today. The principals, in this case the gentleman seated behind me, read their official orders as approved by the Chief of Naval Operations, aloud to all aboard. This practice ensures only duly authorized officers take command, and that all aboard are aware of the moment of transition of command responsibility. As you would expect, we hold our commanding officers to the highest standards. We handpick them at selection boards by a panel of senior officers who have served as commanding officers. Only the best, most qualified officers are chosen to command a ship like Harper's Ferry. For the last nearly 2 years, Captain Marlon Anthony, Craig, as we know him, has been responsible and accountable for the United States ship Harper's Ferry and for every man and woman aboard. Craig recognized from the very beginning that the foundation upon which our Navy is built is the inseparable relationship between the leader and his warriors. I'm proud of the fact that Craig excelled in this position of awesome responsibility, and that he did this by leveraging the quality and enthusiasm of his people and the highest traditions of our finest captains. Craig, I recall your first underway as captain. You took a perfectly good ship with 4 working engines, as I was told. And by the time you arrived in Korea for a planned port visit, you had only one still fully operational. I must admit, I had some concern about our future relationship at that point, or whether or not there would be a ban at this event. However, I'm glad to report that through Craig's leadership, hard work, and talent, we're making a good team great. He ensured that Harper's Ferry executed the full spectrum of amphibious exercises, certifications, and real-world contingencies under superb leadership and with a style worthy of emulations by junior and senior commanding officers alike. I also recall the story written during a humanitarian assistance mission to assist the victims of the Lake A mudslide in the Philippines last year. Captain Anthony insisted on going ashore to deliver candy and snacks and other amenities to the children and to express his personal appreciation to the town's leaders for their cooperation doing noisy and often intrusive amphibious operations near their small village. As Craig's small boat made its approach to shore, I'm told that Captain Anthony was so anxious to deliver assistance that he stepped off the boat a little too early and fell into shoulder-deep water. Not deterred, Captain Anthony showed the courage to laugh at himself and to the relief of his boat crew. Captain Anthony simply swam ashore, a proud but wet captain. That panel of senior officers who selected Craig to be the captain of Harper's Ferry was exactly right. He, his crew, and their ship have served our Navy and our nation exceptionally well in this area of operations. Craig and his leadership team ensured that Harper's Ferry was a 16,000-ton visible commitment to our friends and allies throughout the region, and a ready and credible reminder to anyone who might threaten peace and stability. Captain Anthony has been Harper's Ferry. His contagious leadership traits, stellar example for getting it right the first time, has kept Harper's Ferry as ready and I selected just a few of Harpers Ferry's many accomplishments over the last 2 years to share with you. The nearly 400 landing craft sorties in this well deck, 45 underway replenishments, over 350 safe and superbly executed aircraft evolutions, 14 new surface warfare officers, 22 new engineering officer watches, and one I'm most proud of, over 200 sailors who have earned college credits. Harpers Ferry simply has no equal when it comes to impressive list of accomplishments in the fall deployed naval force. Now, of course, Greg will be the first to tell you that he owes most of the credit for his confidence and ability to excel on this job to his wonderful wife, Sarah. Sarah, thank you for being here today. You, Daniel, and Ali represent our tremendous Harpers Ferry families, and you are the reason why we do what we do in this profession. You have been a tremendous First Lady in Harpers Ferry. As a team, you and Greg have helped the Harpers Ferry family endure the uncertainties and stresses that come with the professional rewards of serving in a fall deployed naval warship. Thank you for standing by, Greg, both as a CL spouse and for standing up for Harpers Ferry sailors and their families as well. Sarah and Craig, I want to express my heartfelt thanks on behalf of our entire Task Force 76 family for the sacrifice and commitment you have both displayed over the successful command trip. I look forward to seeing you both at Newport during my temporary stay from the Pentagon in the future. Let's go to Commander Dave Bossert. Welcome to the Task Force 76 team and the Expeditionary Strike Group 7. It is my understanding that your bride Susan and children will join you in Sasebo after the school year. I know you all will enjoy every facet of this tour. Dave, your training, experiences, and impressive list of accomplishments have earned you the right to follow Craig in the legacy of great captains from Harpers Ferry. You have prepared well, and I know you are ready to meet the unique and demanding challenges ahead. Congratulations to you, and please pass the same to Susan. Welcome to the fall deployed naval force. Finally, to the men and women of Harpers Ferry, your ship is an impressive command, and one that is directly linked to security of the region. I want to take this opportunity to thank you for your service to our country, and to thank each of you for your support to Captain Anthony over the last nearly 2 years. Commander Bossert is ready to take you to the next level of excellence. I ask that you give him the same loyalty, teamwork, and commitment to excellence that you have demonstrated during Captain Anthony's tenure. Your reputation is impeccable, your skill renowned, and you all have much more to do together. Again, I want to thank you all for being here today. Don't worry, God will open his eyes. Now, Captain Anthony, will you please join me at the podium?
Ladies and gentlemen,
Give us a few minutes.
is that one of the formal deliveries? Ladies and gentlemen, Admiral Victor Guillory, Amphibious Forces 7th Fleet, will now present Commander Anthony with his End of Tour Award. Attention to award. Commander Amphibious Forces, United States 7th Fleet, President of the United States takes pleasure in presenting the Meritorious Service Medal, Gold Star, and Lewis Second Award to Commander Marlon C. Anthony, United States Navy, for services set forth in the following citation. For outstanding meritorious service while serving as commanding officer USS Harpers Ferry, assigned to Commander Amphibious Force US 7th Fleet from May 2005 to November 2006. Demonstrating superior operational readiness, Commander Anthony deployed a ship in support of Carrot 2005, as well as exercises Balakatan, Full Eagle, Cobra Gold, and Fiblex 2006. During these exercises, Harpers Ferry executed 400 landing craft sorties, 350 aircraft sorties, and 45 underway replenishments, all without a single mishap. Exhibiting extreme flexibility and proficiency in mission support, and with only 3 hours' notice, Harpers Ferry was able to shift its focus of effort from simulated combat operations during Balakatan, a bilateral exercise, to an emergent humanitarian disaster relief mission during the mudslide disaster on Leyte Island in February 2006, rendering critical medical support to the victims. Under his extraordinary leadership, Commander Anthony successfully led Harpers Ferry through Pacific Fleet's first ever ultra combat engineering assessments, as well as a flawlessly executed final evaluation problem. In addition to the heavy operational load, he implemented innovative initiatives regarding higher education. One program of particular note is the Harpers Ferry University. This program was instrumental in assisting over 200 sailors in earning college credit towards a degree, with 1 sailor earning a baccalaureate and 3 earning an associate's degree. His efforts to higher education have been lauded by the Surface Force Pacific and included as a Surface Force best practice. This and many other sailor-focused programs have resulted in the lowest liberty incident rate in the 7th Fleet AOR and resulted in Harpers Ferry being awarded the Compact Fleet Golden Anchor Award for retention excellence. By his exceptional professional ability, personal initiative, and total dedication to duty, Commander Anthony reflected great credit upon himself and upheld the highest traditions of the United States Naval Service. For the President, B.G. Guillory, Admiral, United States Navy. Ladies and gentlemen, Commander Marlon C. Anthony, Commanding Officer, USS Harpers Ferry.
Okay. All right. Ready.
Harpers Ferry, out of 10. Stand at ease.
And I mean at ease. Admiral Guillory, Admiral Poncho, Captain Thomas, distinguished guests, Chief Petty Officers, Chief Petty Officers, and sailors of Harpers Ferry, ladies and gentlemen. I am a man of few words. So if you need to squat down, please do and take a break, because you know it's going to be a couple minutes. Okay? Time has a way of gently deceiving us. If you've ever sat in a waiting room waiting for your appointment with a doctor or an attorney, the wait seems interminable. In my mind, every minute is about an hour, and I can't stop thinking about all the other things I could be doing while I'm wasting my time there. Then there are those times in life that we truly treasure. Minutes become seconds, and in what seems to be an instant, the moment has passed us, and we are left with wonderful memories and a genuine desire to go back and do it all again. As a naval officer, I am accustomed to long, gut-wrenching, desert motif-style meetings, conferences, in-briefs, out-briefs, planning boards, teleconferences, video teleconferences, leadership meetings, budget meetings, and a host of other very long, very necessary meetings each and every day. Even though I have the greatest job on earth, I still have to spend a portion of my time engaged in all of those boring yet very necessary tasks. So in my mind, while I could be out doing those great captain things that I always wanted to do, I'm stuck sitting in a meeting somewhere. And every minute I spent on business away from Harpers Ferry felt like an ice pick right in the eye. It seemed like a month of my command tour being taken away from me. Time can be cruel. It slows down at all the wrong times, and everybody here knows what that means, and it means a lot more to me today than ever before. After the little incident with the engines, we met for the first time back in Sasebo. He came to Harpers Ferry once we got back to your side. My XO is Tim Cronin. He's always trying to pump people up and looking on the positive side. So he came to me and he said, we were talking about whether the Admiral might still be a little angry about what had happened with the engine thing. Tim was always saying things like, oh, there will be some positive spin of this. And he said, don't worry, the Admiral's just coming on board to give you some fatherly advice. You know, keep your chin up. You're doing great. The devil's in the details. It'll be something like that. As the Admiral stepped out of the car and hit full stride up the ACOM ladder, Tim reached over behind my shoulder and said, Captain, he looks like he might still be a little angry about that whole engine thing. He came up the brow that day and we walked straight to my office. He was not as angry as he looked, thank goodness. And he got right to the point. And his point is one that I carried with me every day I've been in command. First, he said I was in command. Now it's time to take command. To be responsible, not to turn to other people. That it's time now to make my mark. He talked to me about all the things that other people think are important, inspections, assessments, maintenance issues, all the maintenance pieces that are the bane of our existence. Then he gave me the focus that I think everyone in our Navy needs to have. He told me he wasn't going to worry about the inspections, he wasn't going to worry about the assessments, he wasn't going to worry about the maintenance. He said that was my job. He told me that's how I got here. Surely I could do that. He told me what the main thing was. And this has made life a lot easier for me. Because I'm a good SWO, and when my boss gives me a navigational point, I can drive right to it. Even if Essex is between me and the navigational point, I can still drive right to it. He said, when I point to you and tell you to get your ship underway to meet an operational commitment, you'd better be ready. Operational readiness. The red dot is on your forehead for that, Captain. Don't ever forget it. And I have tried to never forget it. To him, I'm truly grateful for sound advice, the words of encouragement that would come at exactly the right time, and for being the greatest advocate of Harpers Ferry, and for always supporting everything we did in the most positive way. By the way, Mrs. Guillory, who probably broke several speed laws getting here to be with us this morning, she needs to be thanked as well. What a great role model for spouses. Each and every time Sarah and I visit with her, we walk away with that great feeling you have when you meet someone who is the genuine article. We appreciate that very much. The Chief of Staff who started every conversation with me by telling me what a great job I had and how much I needed to enjoy it. I would sometimes call him with something that I thought was a huge problem, and I would start off by apologizing to him for bothering him, and he'd say, Greg, you're never bothering me. I just have to drive this desk around. You have the big job. His advice, particularly on handling personnel issues, was invaluable, and I would not have made it without a strong sounding board off which to bounce every half-cocked idea I had during this tour, and I appreciate that. To the great maintenance team in Sasebo, SRF, our local contractors, and of course the 76 maintenance staff, they always ensured that Harpers Ferry was ready for every challenge, from early underway commitments to major inspections. There is no better maintenance team in this world today than you find in Sasebo. A focused, hard-working group of professionals dedicated to our success. Commander Steve Williamson and his team, it just does not get any better. Captain Tillman Payne, Commander Fleet Activities Command Sasebo. Not only was the support from his command the best I've ever seen on any ship, but I genuinely appreciate his maturity and strength of character. He is a great example of what a naval officer should be, and every time I visit him, I walk away with a great feeling about our Navy, and I appreciate him very much. Commodore Pachuta and the hardest working operational staff in the fleet right now underway with Essex gave Harpers Ferry hundreds of professional opportunities to show our operational prowess, and I hope we always lived up to their expectations. Truly appreciate the kind words that he bestowed upon Harpers Ferry time and again, the encouragement and the compliments he placed on us throughout Fall Patrol. Words mean a lot, and taking the time to say the things goes a long way in replenishing the souls of hard-working sailors, and I appreciate that. Our Marines, we have some visiting with us today, and I'm grateful to have them here. 31st Combat Logistics Battalion, formerly the MSSG. We've enjoyed a great relationship with our Marines throughout. The best I've ever seen. A tribute to that relationship is during the middle of the float when you look up in the wardroom during dinner and there's a Marine officer sitting there who's not on your ship for this deployment. And yes, what they're doing there, they said they just came over for a visit. That's a tribute. Junior Marines who would stop me in the passageway to tell me how much they love Harpers Ferry and what a great ship I have. I appreciate their dedication to the team spirit in this great ship and their ongoing efforts on our behalf. Finally, from outside the light lines, I need to thank Captain Buzz Little. I've been on board a month when Harper's Ferry left